Good evening, my name's Alex Gamble. You're watching Dissecting Trek. So we open with Enterprise finding this transport ship from the 21st century with all these people in cryogenic chambers. It's pretty much the opening of a Space Seed from the original series. The one with old Khan Noonien Singh in it. Khan! 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 So yeah, they oh yeah, I forgot to say, I was gonna say in the intro. Good evening, my name's Alex Gamble. And after 3 years, we finally reviewed the first season of Next Gen. 3 years. But we're here. Yeah, so they find these people fucking in cryogenic chambers. Data doesn't follow any ship protocol and just like beams them all over without telling the captain or anything.
Yeah, that was a bit odd because, I mean, Picard was at a thing, wasn't he? He was at some...
He was at a thing.
Yeah, I mean, but Riker's in charge. Did he even... He didn't even ask Riker, did he?
I think he just beamed him over because later on Picard dresses him down and he's like, what the fuck are you doing,
Yeah,
bro?
he does, but you'd think Riker would have been like... I reckon he messaged Riker and Riker's like, yeah, that sounds like the appropriate thing, because Riker had no fucking idea what was going on either.
Yeah, Riker was just stumbling around this episode like, dumb as fuck.
I guarantee if he tried to step over the chair, he would have stacked it.
Yeah. Doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
What is it, Doctor?
It's the people from the capsule.
Capsule? People? What people?
The people Data beamed over.
I wasn't aware that he had.
Well, he did. And they were frozen. I thawed them.
You what?
And then, yeah, they introduced the B plot, which is the Romulans. And yeah, the first scene is like tense and suspenseful, and I was interested. I went, oh, the Romulans.
Yeah, Picard's genuine mannerisms, it carried all the atmosphere of a good episode. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like from the moment I'm like, and we got a good one. Sort of thing. It's like it's not sit back and like, okay, here we go, another shit episode, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, so the A plot are these like 3 fish out of water people. They wake up these 3 people from the 20th century. And it just seemed like a reason to have like blatant exposition about like the Federation and their ideals and values. It felt like they were spoon feeding it to the audience. Like, I felt like the writer wasn't familiar with Star Trek, and they thought the audience wasn't familiar with Star Trek, even though like the original series and the movies all that shit happened.
I mean, I personally didn't get that vibe from it. I mean, I can totally see it now that you mentioned it, but I just saw it as like legitimately, if you were to wake up from that, you would be filled with a lot of questions and like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, but there was even a scene where Troy like sits down and explains to the captain of the flagship of the fucking Federation what the Romulans are.
As you know, sir, there is very little available on the Romulans.
Counselor, anything would be helpful.
They seem to be creatures of extremes. One moment violent beyond description, the next tender. They are related to the Vulcans, but as each race developed, their differences grew wider. They are intensely curious. Their belief in their own superiority is beyond arrogance.
Okay,
that was jarring as fuck.
It's like, for fuck, like Picard knows what the fucking Romulans are.
New viewers wouldn't know who the fuck Romulans are. People, like, think about it like this. So, the original series came out in the 60s, maybe had a fan base, blah, blah, blah. And yes, those people may go back and watch Next Generation. But there's also people growing up who might be fascinated in that now who have no idea who the fuck the Romulans are.
This is true.
And back then when it came out, it wasn't so readily available like it was to us to watch the original
stream it on Netflix or anything. Yeah, so yeah, that is definitely like deliberately what's going on here. If you go back and rewatch it, there's like scenes where like the guy's like, "Where is my money?" And the guy looks down the lens and he's like, "In the 23rd century, we no longer believe in money."
He walks, he's like, "Fuck you, cunt." That's what Picard says.
He does. I'll cut the clip
he's
in now.
smoking and everything.
Yeah.
A lot has changed in the past 300 years. People are no longer obsessed with the accumulation of things. We have eliminated hunger, want, the need for possessions. We've grown out of our infancy.
You've got it all wrong. It has never been about possessions. It's about power.
And yeah, like there's the country guy who actually liked the actor who played like the southern he's a country music star, I guess. I liked I thought the actor was like charismatic, but yeah, he's like, oh, darling, can I get a little wake me up and put me down and fucking.
He's clearly the one who they're talking about with chemical abuse.
Yeah, and Beverly's like, well, in the 23rd, they're outlining all these things, like how the fucking society has evolved and moved on.
Well,
I know all this.
You would kind of have to be like,
it's so weird it being
barbaric.
it's so weird it being like the 24th episode though. It's just like at this point in time they need to like sit down and spoon feed the audience like what the show is about.
The explanations weren't necessary. I liked the idea, like the whole concept. I even liked the execution of most of it with them being there. It was really well done, especially that southern guy. I didn't really care too much from him at first, but man, he was my favorite of the three.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't care for the lady and her worries about her family dying.
She was okay. It was a lot. She was just. You got the three sorts of people, and they did a good job. So like, she was just the family woman, you know.
Yeah.
It was like everyone around me's dead, blah 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 blah. Then you got the power hungry billionaire motherfucker who's like all about power, and then you had the Texan fucking cowboy hat.
Fun times and drugs.
But rich as well.
Yeah.
I know this is all very confusing to you, so I'll attempt to explain. You are on the starship USS Enterprise.
American.
No, it's a vessel in the United Federation of Planets, and Earth is a member.
What year is this?
By your calendar, 2364.
What?
So yeah, she had like a Ellen Ripley vibe kind of going on where like, everyone in her family is obviously dead hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So yeah, she just basically cries a few times about that.
Interesting.
Yeah, Troy has a few moments with her, sitting down with her and being like, oh, you'll be okay. she was never okay. She didn't adapt to the 23rd century.
Well, I mean,
she hung herself.
It's been a couple of days.
She died.
Yeah.
40 seconds after the episode
You'll
ended.
make it back to your relative. I don't fucking think so.
Yeah. The country music guy just ODs. And the rich guy becomes some tyrannical dictator over some planet. So they start. I don't know. There weren't very many Romulan moments in this episode, really.
All right at the end. It's all anticipation, and I feel like they did a good job building the tension towards it.
I like the idea of like this really important military operation going on, and then you've got this element interrupting it. At the end, old man comes under the bridge.
Picard would have handled the whole situation with them a whole lot better if he wasn't under a whole fuck ton of stress about the Romulans possibly returning.
Yeah.
Which it kind of made it perfect.
Well, yeah, I like that dynamic, but it's like the detail. So right, I've talked a lot in fucking season 1 of TNG about like this feels like a first draft. And yeah, this script straight up was a first draft. That was confirmation of a writer's strike happened, which fucked up the end of season 1 and then had impact on season 2 as well. So yeah, they couldn't legally get anyone in to like touch up the script. So it's just like a first draft and it's like here we go.
I mean, considering for a first draft, it's not as bad as some of the other ones that have been.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a first draft, but it's just like dialogue and stuff. Like, there's a moment where Worf is like, and he starts like spilling, the Romulans killed my parents on the bridge in front of Picard and shit.
It was something that Worf would have pulled him aside to say.
Yeah, it's not like, season 3 onwards Worf. And yeah, there's a moment where Picard is like, this guy walks under the bridge in the middle of like a hectic military situation. He's like, guards, arrest him. And the guards just walk over and don't arrest him.
And barely fucking put up a fight.
And then they die.
And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. Alright.
Get that man off the bridge, now!
I'm not going anywhere, Captain. They're back.
It's like, fuck off, get the cunt off the bridge right now. The captain gave you a direct order.
You're in the middle of like an intense military situation.
Worf should have just run up and just...
He would have knocked him off.
No, wait, I gotta get emphasis on this one.
Also, yeah, at the end, like the Romulans, like just their dialogue, it was just like, it wasn't great dialogue. At the end, like they say, "We're back," and it's just like they're supposed to be.
They didn't need to say that.
They didn't need to say half the things. Yeah, they're supposed to be like hyper intelligent, like military strategists, and at the end they're like, "Oh, Picard, we're back."
What they should have had in that moment where he said, "We're back," should have been like, "Oh yeah, bow bow."
Yeah, that would have been cool. I would have. Was that song out then? Maybe, I don't know.
I think so. It was in First Reel's Day Off, so I imagine that it would.
Yeah, and this is like '87, so about that time. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
They would never have added it in.
We've made some progress here. Let's not ruin it with unnecessary posturing.
Your presence is not wanted. Do you understand my meaning, Captain? We are back.
Yeah, the one thing that I was curious about, I know obviously they haven't thought this far ahead yet, but when a guy like, "Can I have a martini?" you know, and it's like made with, "Oh, gee, that's good." It's like it's all synthahol. It's all synthahol, right? So it doesn't actually get you drunk.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that'd piss him off.
Yeah, I mean, he never realized it was synthahol, and yeah, I'm not sure that the writer, or even if it's established at this point in time.
But there's also
because in TOS they drink alcohol and get wrecked all the time, and then TNG they're like, nah. You go back to fucking TOS, like Scotty was fucking wrecked, bro.
Yeah,
drinking Romulan ale and boxing on. With
Romulan
Klingons.
ale, Jesus. I know that. What I don't get is like, what the fuck do I do around here? It's like, oh, how about I show you the holodeck? You know, I'm pretty sure he would be able to waste some time on the holodeck and that'd be fine. No shit.
I like that comment too about like TV being abolished.
He's like, what the fuck do you
2040, yeah.
That being said, they like, in all the other series of Star Trek, they generally like, I mean, it's just, which fucking... Oh, I guess it's Enterprise, so it doesn't really count. But they all get together in a ship and have a movie night. They watch an old movie and they kind of just watch it
I think
together,
they do that on Voyager as well.
Yeah.
He's like, not Harry Kim, he's the Asian guy. The one who's going out with...
Tom Paris.
Yeah, Tom Paris. He's into like old school fucking
all like shit like Flash Gordon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's even an episode where they're all in one of the things and stuff.
Yeah, there is. I don't remember how that happened, but I do remember it happening.
Oh fuck no, I don't remember how it happened.
Yeah.
But I remember the episode.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, it's season 1 TNG episode. There's a bunch of things that don't make any sense. Earlier in a bunch of episodes, they talk about the Romulans attacking bases or not attacking bases, but like encroaching on the Federation. And then here in this episode, they say we haven't seen them in 50 years. This is first contact. But I mean, yeah, the writer wrote a script and they weren't able to touch it up, and I was like, yeah, let's just film it.
Yeah, no, that's totally makes a lot more sense now. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, like I like the big like ideas and story beats. It's just the dialogue really that is just rough around the edges for me. Just, yeah, like the preachy stuff, like, oh, drugs are bad, TV's bad, money's bad. And then just the blatant, like, this is what the Federation's about. I'm like, I know.
The way it didn't bother me that much, but all I got from it is that they were just like, they were viewing them as, barbarians from an earlier time who didn't understand. And sort of shit like, I'm better than you sort of thing. That's the whole vibe I got. I'm like, well, I mean, I guess they should.
Yeah.
They would seem like pieces of shit. I mean, like I say, he slaps fucking Dr. Crusher on the ass.
He does.
He fucking...
And he does drugs.
Yeah, well, he tries to. Dude, replicators should be able to replicate cocaine.
Replicate anything. Replicated guitar.
It would replicate cocaine that probably didn't fuck you up. Like, I mean, it's at the hole. I don't know.
Replicate cocaine that doesn't do anything.
Just replicate sherbet. That shit fucks, you know.
Snorting sherbet.
Remember a mate from school, and you know the mate used to do that. Randomly snort sherbet and be like,
I remember who that is.
Won't mention names.
And they also did have a a moment in their life where possibly their drug intake exceeded what was
Party and fun.
Yeah. I go over my notes. I don't know about much more.
I believe he means television, sir. That particular form of entertainment did not last much beyond the year 2040.
Well, what do you guys do? I mean, you don't drink and you ain't got no TV. It must be kind of boring, ain't it?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Patrick Stewart, once again, even with the first drafts, nailed the fucking acting. Like, he just fucking smashed it. Every moment he played and everything felt super tense and well executed.
Yeah.
Data, I felt in a few parts didn't seem Data-ish.
Yeah.
Like that part of the door where he's talking to old mate who wants him to get a guitar or whatever and blah blah blah. There was a moment where he got caught up in what he was saying and stopped mid sentence was like So the thing is, like, Data doesn't do that.
Yeah, it's just like, I guess some of the writers, like the ones that they just hire for an episode here and there, they don't really know the characters in and out. They just get like a basic, Worf's a fucking animal.
As a writer of a series, I feel like I would watch at least a good portion of the series before writing an episode to figure out what the fuck it's about, at least. Yeah,
I didn't know like what was even like. I don't even think maybe stuff had been filmed, but like stuff hadn't been released for TNG yet. And like you watch that Chaos on the Bridge and like shit was just hectic behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
You got like people
that's a hectic
trying to like snipe Gene Roddenberry, and then like the writers' strike, and I think there's like 2 writers in like again the first season that actually come back for season 2, and the other like 20 or so are just like never write for Star Trek again. So they just come and go on. They get their fucking check.
Because it gets better.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you need like a team of writers that work on every season that know the characters and know the lore and the mythology. You can't just, for a show like this with this vast world, for like Murder She Wrote or like CSI Miami or some shit. Yeah, just get like random people in. But yeah. Unless someone's going to come in and like learn all the little details, because then 50 years later, people sit in a garage in Australia and go, nah, this was inconsistent.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just with something with this lore behind it. But then again, at that time, I guess they didn't think anyone would actually give a shit about the lore.
It played on TV like once or twice, and that was it. They had no like conception about like DVDs or streaming or YouTube reviews or the early Doctor Who. They fucking
YouTube wasn't even existent in the slightest in anyone's head.
The internet was maybe like barely in its conception at this point, but the basic public didn't have the internet till like mid-90s.
Well, it's the internet, man.
Yeah, looking at Playboys and playing football. So in conclusion, I like some of the basic ideas here. They work. It's just the little details. Dialogue mostly. Dialogue was a bit
I mean, I enjoyed the episode. I was on the edge of my seat majority of it, and I was fucking stoked to see Romulan Warbird again. I don't know if I've mentioned this. Romulan Warbird is my favourite ship.
I came home horribly hungover, so maybe that had an impact on my viewing experience. I remember we used to be in a band, and there was a point where I was basically like quitting the band / being kicked out of the band. I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And I watched it and like my whole mind was just like going over that shit the whole time. Like, I was like, this movie's fucking garbage. And then years later I watched it and I'm like, oh, it's a good movie.
I was just in a bad mind frame.
Yeah, I wasn't in the right headspace. So I don't think I was in the right headspace when I watched this.
That sucks because I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Yeah, interesting. 2 different perspectives. Yeah, I drank a bottle of scotch for Jasper last night. Fucked up a review. What am I doing?
And now it's affecting this one.
Now it's affecting this one. I blame Jasper. Jasper, I blame you! Alright. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and on sales. We've got all the facts on how pins are null and void. And we will see you for season 2 of Next Gen! Woo!
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time to touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am. No. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man. Burning out his fuse out here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be long, long